What is good? What is good? Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Life Podcast official. We back with another video, man, or another live stream, shall we say, bro? Another podcast,
Facts,
man. This is
facts.
episode 52. Hey, man, bro. I just
Sir.
want to ask you, bro, how's your week been, bro? Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, really good week this week. Can't complain. This is a great week. Monday I had my first 1K day, and then
Ooh, shoot.
Wednesday I had for 1.2K. So it's been real good. Like I said, we're not that. This is where the winner's starting to win now. This is where you start to be. You know what I'm saying? Everything is starting to pay off now. So really good week so far. Thursday been a great day today again. So I'm just super blessed and just humble to be around that right now. What about you, bro?
I like that, man. And for me, been a little bit good too as well, bro. Like I just been growing, constantly growing with my content and stuff like that. And recently I just got some big opportunities when it came down to streaming and stuff like that. I've been having way more people show up in the streams and stuff like that. So I've definitely been excited and
Go.
it's been fun, bro. I'm just like enjoying it every day, bro. Like
Yeah,
it's literally
that's
just been
fine.
fun.
That's
I
fine.
don't know. It's not even
Yeah,
like
once yeah, that's fine. Once it becomes fun, you just doing it, you just being. It's so much simpler, bro. I just realized that like once I stop stressing, like, oh, I need this, I need that, I need that. Stop stressing about all that. And now I'm just here, bro. So just blessed.
yeah,
But
that's
speaking of
facts.
opportunities, we are gonna have someone come on the stream soon. The dude is like really big. He got like over 80K followers on Instagram.
That's fire.
I talked to him the other day. He ended up being in one of my offers, and I talked to him. He's a dude I've been close to for a little minute now, and he wants to join the stream. I invited him to Discord and stuff like that, but he's a grown man, right? So he got a life. So I'm just waiting for him to get back on me with that. We are expecting to have a guest soon, so that's gonna be a W. That's gonna be real good and give some more knowledge for sure, for sure.
That's super, super fire, bro. I ain't even gonna lie, man. That's great, man.
Yeah, so coming soon, coming soon, coming soon.
Facts, man. And to get into the first question of the day, bro. When do people lose themselves?
Um, ooh, people. Oh wait, so to start with this, you don't realize you lose yourself, right, until somebody tells you. That's the biggest thing. I want to start with that. A lot of times people don't realize they lose themselves. Either, let's say they got, a lot of money, this, so they kind of change their ways. Or on the opposite scale, they lose themselves as they go into depression, and then they just become like, normal, it just comes normal to them. But people lose themselves when they become comfortable, and some we don't realize, and a lot of times we lose ourselves a lot, kind of just scrolling. And that's the easiest, simple way to lose yourself by just scrolling, becoming comfortable. But like more in like the real life situation, the deeper, more like hard life, I guess you could say. You lose yourself when you break your good habits. When you start to do the normal that is bad, and you start to like kind of lose control of yourself. And in my opinion, we see it so often that losing yourself is now normalized because we all say, well, when somebody lose himself, et cetera, whatever happened to that person, our first train of thought would be, oh, she'll be fine. Oh, he'll be fine. But in reality, that's not always the case. In reality, some people actually need that help and that motive to like keep going. So it's very normal now. But we lose ourselves in so many ways. What about you, bro?
For me, man, one of the ways that we can lose ourselves, I feel like, most people lose themselves when they stop like having a purpose, right? Or they don't have no goals or dreams to do anything. Once you don't have a plan or a goal for yourself, you kind of just lose yourself because you kind of just let the world kind of carry you on, right? You start just going with the flow of life instead of, creating the life that you want for yourself. So you end up just losing yourself throughout this process. Like say if you are going through a process where you're like learning about yourself and you're going through things, if you get distracted, you can go astray, right? And you could go very very far astray to the point where you lose yourself. And the main thing is to just you want to continue to grow with yourself, right? And that's gonna help you not lose yourself. Is just growing with yourself each and every day and realizing that you're growing as well.
I like that. And I have a question with this, right? Because this is one of those topics where, in my opinion, I don't think I ever been in a situation where I can say I lost myself, or I can say I've been in a situation where I didn't know my purpose. I guess I can say.
Hmm.
So like, how do you know when you lost yourself? Like, have you? I can't. I'm trying my best to think. Whereas when I think, I guess I can say I was lost when I was like smoking, drinking, partying, but I never like was once in a position to where I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I was in a position to where I was like, okay, this is my purpose. You feel what I'm saying? I never found my purpose until recently. You feel what I'm saying? So how do you know when you find your purpose and then you lose that purpose?
So, me too. I haven't really went through this situation, but I feel like, if people was to go through this situation and, lose themselves, I feel like they can view it um really by how their life is on the outside, right? Like just viewing your
Yeah,
own life, because sometimes, our good habits, like you said, our good habits is what build us to be a better person, right? So if you are already a better person each and every day, right? And then you
yeah.
all of a sudden start becoming negative, start becoming, bad, a bad
Like that.
energy, those are signs that you can see that yourself is changing and that you're losing yourself, right? Instead, like,
Like that.
before you used to help people out, now you would talk down on somebody. So it's like that change is where you have to view it for yourself. But if you don't, you'll end up just thinking it's normal, like you said before, like thinking it's normal and just
Like,
continue going with that cycle, man. So that's what I'll have to say about that. What about
yeah.
you? That's a good question.
No, that I like that. And in my opinion, I wasn't like I said, I've never been in a position to where I can say, I found my purpose and I lost my purpose. For
Yeah.
me, um, I guess it's been like a full year now, coming to a full year where I've been like consistently staying strong, consistently reminding myself, like consistently like doing the right things. But it is gonna be times where I guess you can feel like unmotivated. So
Hmm.
when it comes to like losing yourself, I think it'll just be one of those things where like you're running out of motivation, right? And you lack discipline. That's how I look at it, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Whenever you're losing yourself, is you're losing your discipline because you're losing your structure.
Yep.
And whenever you lose your structure, you lose your foundation. That's when you lose who you are. Um, so I think for
Facts.
me, in my opinion, a lot of people lose themselves because they lose that discipline. They lose that because like we say, motivation fades. Motivation not gonna be there forever. You're gonna have your highs. You're gonna have your lows. You're gonna feel more motivated when you see more numbers. You're gonna feel less motivated when you see less numbers. So that's how it goes. But discipline has to be the foundation. So whenever you lose yourself, that means you're losing discipline. So I think it all revolves around discipline and staying focused, I guess you could say.
I agree, man. And that's really it, bro. Like once you, stay focused and your intent is very pure on what you need, what you have your mind
Mhm.
set on, it's very simple after that. It's very easy to, not get led astray because you have a plan, you know what you need to do, you know the things that you want
Yeah,
to do. Um, but obviously, if you don't go all in on something, or if you don't give it your all, you don't try at something, you can easily lose yourself, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we all try to be comfortable. So you will do what you're comfortable with. And if you're not like trying to break that comfort, you will naturally lose yourself because you'll just be
yeah,
thinking you're doing the same thing, but honestly, yeah, you're doing the same thing, but you're not getting better. You're only getting worse, right? You can't stay the same. So you're either getting better or you're getting worse. So, if you're doing the same things over and over, you're obviously getting worse over time. So you have to realize that within yourself, like, yeah, you do good things, but also keep finding newer things to do. Keep finding more goals to accomplish. Keep finding more things that'll drive you. Like he's saying, like our motivation fades. So give yourself something to be motivated for. Challenge yourself so that you can be motivated to do a challenge, so that you can complete a goal. So that way it's easier to move around when you have goals to accomplish. But
yeah. I like that. One more thing I want to go back to that's really important. Really important. It's the intent. Like you have to have clear intention. If your intention's not clear, and if you're not renewing your intention, I think that's the biggest thing, right? You always got to give yourself that reminder on why you're doing something. If you're
yeah.
just trying to, hold up that first attempt from 6 months ago, it's not gonna be the same 6 months later. Feel me? So you have to like renew your intentions, always remind yourself, and always like remember your
Facts.
purpose. I think that's the biggest thing. And the reason I think that's the biggest thing, right? Because the more pure your intentions are, the more disciplined you're going to be. And, attention goes with discipline. So if you
Yeah.
tie those together, you kind of won't lose yourself because you're always going to remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. And then what's the purpose of what you're doing. And then once you do all that, that's going to lead to you pushing yourself and trying to like unlock new levels and become a better person and get uncomfortable like we're talking about. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times what like we say what happens is a person just gets very comfortable, so they fall to the system. They fall to not, showing up every day. They say, I can take this day off, I can take this day off, I can take this day off. And now they're taking
Mm-hmm.
multiple days off. Now they gotta rebuild themselves, refine their attentions, regather themselves, and redo so many things rather than just, and don't get me wrong, right? You're gonna have a moment where you don't show up. You're gonna have a moment where it's gonna fall off. But you gotta remind yourself, yo, like I'm doing this for this. I can't take this many days off. I gotta get back to it. That's what I'm saying.
That's
So I
facts.
think that's really really important.
I agree, man. Like taking those days off can really hurt you, you know. Um, at the end of the day, bro, it's harder to like get back into something than it is to just continue going. You don't
Yeah,
realize how close you are until you really until you stop, right? Like once you stop doing something, you realize how close you were. Or sometimes you don't realize how close you really are until you keep doing what you're doing, right? Like sometimes we may be like, oh damn, something ain't happened today, so I'm not gonna do it tomorrow. But who knows, that tomorrow could have been the day that it all popped off, right? It all
yeah.
happened. So at the end of the day, you don't want to lose yourself with numbers and stuff. Like he said earlier, don't get caught up on the numbers and stuff like that, man. Just keep doing you, keep going, and it's that simple, man. I ain't got no more for that question. You?
No, that's pretty much it. That's really it. That's all I got for that. Yeah.
All right, about next question, man. What's harder to earn? Ooh, trust or respect? I got mine.
Oh, I think in our generation, it's probably much harder to earn respect.
Ooh,
Um, the only reason I say respect is because the way you earn respect now is by how you present yourself, and if you have money or this, and that's not how respect works. So I think right now in our generation, it is much harder to earn respect, unless it's very cases, unless you're one of those people who just shows up every day. So it's kind of like hard not to respect you, but like the way we give respect to people is if they got 10K followers, or if they got X amount of money, or if they got this type of car, or he this, right? You don't gain respect off what you own, and that's what we give. So I think the hardest way, the hardest thing to earn right now is just respect. What about you, bro?
for me, it's gonna be opposite, man. For me, it's trust. For me, I think,
Yeah,
trust is harder to earn, and I say that because, like, at the end of the day, for certain people, we automatically give respect. For example, like grandparents and older people, we give them natural respect, right? It's no trust, it's just respect. And I feel like trust is harder to earn because, over time is where you build trust, right? And even then, you still may not even give somebody your 100% of the trust. You get what I'm saying? So trust is always something that can constantly grow. And same as respect, of course, but
yeah,
trust is definitely one of those that is harder because I could respect you, but that does not mean I trust you enough to
that's
do
true.
anything for
Yeah,
me, or I trust you with my family or something like that. But I do respect you. I respect what you got going on. I respect your business, but I just can't
yeah,
trust you. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's definitely trust. And I feel like that's a question. I feel like it just depends on how you grew up, right? Your situations and
yeah,
stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, you could be a person that had a lot of good trust around you, a lot of good people around you, and you was able to trust people around you. And the only thing you needed was some respect. You get what I'm saying? So
true.
I feel like it just depends on how you grew up. But for me, for sure, trust, man. Think
Yeah,
so.
like I mean, yeah, it's really just one of those things where it's like, um, I mean, honestly and truthfully, like in my opinion, sometimes one can come with the other. Like
That
trust
is
can come with
true.
respect, or respect can come with trust.
Yeah.
But to gain respect, well, first off, the biggest thing here, I think, when it comes down to respect, you have to respect others to gain respect, right? And a lot of
Yeah.
times, and in my opinion, we don't respect others enough because we think we either higher than them, or even sometimes we derate ourselves. We don't value ourselves, so we put ourselves below them. So whenever you do something like that, you're already not either respecting that person because you think you're better than that person, so you oversee that person. Like for instance, you see a poor person out on the streets, you can be like, man, what that bum? He ain't doing nothing. or even for
Facts.
females, right? Or sometimes we can see a female, posting X, Y, and Z, and our first thought is like, oh, she a hoe. That's so disrespectful, right? And so now you're not even giving
True.
her the respect, even though she's doing what she's doing. She's still a woman at the end of the day, right? You don't know her purpose or anything like that. So, in my opinion, like respect is one of those things that we really overlook, only off the fact that we're not understanding that we have to respect ourselves first, right? We have to respect ourselves first and give ourselves that
There we
first
go.
thought of training ourselves to say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't say that to that person. Maybe I should hold my tongue and do these, more respectful things towards ourselves. So, in my opinion, I think respect is one of those. It's a conversation that it need to be talked about more, because once you start to respect people more, people will trust you more, right? You can have more of a community. Respect
Yeah.
comes with community. Whenever you have a community, people's gonna start trusting you more, because word to mouth. Let's say, for instance, you know, I'll use me as an example. In my opinion, I've never been uh, in my opinion, I've never been like a bad guy towards people outside of, like, every aspect, ones that do, etc. So I always had that kind of, I guess you can say, always had that kind of respect for just being a good person. So people trust me to reach out to me. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so that's how it goes, right? You can say, oh, Day talks to me about this. Damn, let me hit Day up. He might be able to help me too. Boom. You know what I'm saying? So you're building that trust and respect at the same time. So I think, like we said, it's really just one of those however you look at it type things.
That's facts, man. That's facts, bro. Cause at the end of the day, like you said, bro, I agree. Like, I mean, respect goes a long way as well, bro. Respect goes a long way. Trust goes a long way, and both of them at the end of the day is hard to earn, right? Like,
Yeah.
regardless of it, it's hard to earn. But for sure, respect is earned through how you respect yourself. I agree. Like, if you respect yourself very well, you will naturally respect other people. Like, when you go outside, you will naturally talk to other people with manners, and they will respect you back, right? See,
Yeah.
and I think that's the biggest thing, is like how you respect yourself is how other people will respect you too, right? Because if you're a person that's always negative and you always down, when you go around people and you talking, they feel that energy, and they're not gonna give you the respect that you deserve, because they feel like you don't even respect yourself. Why would they respect you? You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and I think, like you were saying, like with sometimes homeless people and stuff like that, they don't respect themselves to the point where they're doing wild things. They don't respect themselves, so most people, when they come around, they're not respecting them off rip, right? And this is
I
why
like
it's
that. Yeah.
important to respect yourself, have some respect for yourself. Like he's saying, like, if you had a girl that posts on media and she posting her woot the woot, of course you're not gonna have respect for her, because she don't even respect her own body. You know what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
just throwing her stuff out there. So respect is definitely one of those things that come down to you yourself. Like, how well do you respect yourself? Because other people will view that, and that's how they will respect you. Because once you start respecting yourself, you will realize that other people respect you naturally. You ain't even got to do nothing. It's just because how you carry yourself. That you
Hear
carry
yourself. I like that.
yourself like with a strong respect. You know what I'm saying? So of course they're gonna respect you back. But yeah, that's what I would say.
I like that. Yeah, not for sure. And to like go more about like how you present yourself is the biggest thing. And the example of the female, right? If she puts herself doing what she's doing, she's not gonna get any respect, right? But if it's another girl posting herself very modest, very covered, she's gonna gain more attention. She's gonna gain more of the right attention, right?
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing, like with our generation, we think respect is numbers. We think, like I talked about earlier, we think if I get X amount of number, everybody messing with me, everybody rocking with me. But that doesn't mean nothing, right? Just because people like seeing what you're doing, this. If you're doing the wrong thing, you're leading the people to the wrong way. So you're not going to get respect. You're not going to get respect in the afterlife. And the biggest thing I look at respect is like, I want to be able to like have a group in this life and the next life, right? So I want to be able to lead people to the right things, and that's how you gain like that real respect. Because you're gonna be used as a vessel, right? God's gonna see what you're doing. He's gonna want to bless more people through you. So he's gonna gain
Facts.
you. He's gonna give you that more respect. You know what I'm saying? And and I think the biggest thing when it comes down on how you present yourself is if nobody is watching you, are you still gonna do it? Like we talk about all the time. That's how you gain that real respect for yourself. And once you do that, you're gonna how more people respect you. But when it comes to trust, in my opinion, I think trust is just one of those things. It can be like a trauma thing, right? A lot of times it's harder to gain trust because people from the past got heartbroken, or people from the past, something happened to them. So they're just not open to trust, right? So
That's
in
right.
my opinion, that's the reason I said is like it's harder to, gain trust because it's people get so effed up that they can't trust no more. Or that, they're not willing to trust no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you mean, bro. I get what you mean, bro. Question though. So
Yes, sir.
if like what's the easiest way you can gain somebody's trust? Or
The
let me ask
easiest
you.
way.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you get. Actually, yeah.
I was about to say the same question. You good? Easiest way to gain somebody's
To gain
trust
somebody trust. The easiest way to gain somebody trust, I
without
think,
like
is by
forcing it.
constantly, huh?
I said without like forcing it. How can you gain
Yeah,
somebody's
without
trust?
forcing, for sure. It's probably just constantly doing the same. What's the word? The same habits, I guess you could say, like doing the right things over and over and over and over and over.
Hmm.
Um, So I think, if you, let's say for instance you got a girlfriend, right? If you constantly get her flowers, constantly do the right things, constantly do this, constantly do that, she's gonna feel like more. She's gonna feel like, okay, he loves me more. I trust him more. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things. But it's hard to just like gain trust, right? Gaining trust is kind of one of those things like longevity, right? You don't ever just gain somebody trust by night one, all right? Um,
I like that.
so yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think in my opinion, it's just by showing up every day. If you're doing the right things every single day, consistently like building those good habits, talking nice to a person, they're gonna start to feel more like, okay, I can trust this person. He's a good dude. What about you, bro? I like that question.
How do you what's the easiest way to gain some trust? I
Yeah.
agree, man. Like constantly, showing up and constantly doing the right things. Being there for whatever, right? Like say we're gonna talk about, since you brought up girlfriends, we'll talk about, say if you got a girlfriend, respecting her every day, showing up for her every day, being there for her every day, talking to her, what I'm saying, making sure she's straight. Those are things that, gain trust over time. And even like if you want to build friendships, relationships outside of just like actually being with a girlfriend, it's kind of the
Mhm.
same thing, bro. Like talking with another person, right? Getting to know that person, really understanding the things that they like to do, right? Like when they talking to you, are you listening or are you just sitting there on your phone, right? Like these are
Yeah.
things that gain trust with people, is like who are you when they're talking to you? Like if I'm
Mhm.
if I'm friends with somebody and that person is like on their phone the whole time while I'm talking, I'm not gonna be able to trust them with telling them the things
Yeah.
I want to say, because I don't even know if they're listening or not. But if somebody is, if we're talking and they're facing me face to face, they're actually listening to me, I'm naturally gonna trust that person more,
For
because
sure.
it's like they have that intent of listening to me. They have the intent of actually hearing what I have to say. So I think, if you want to grow with anything or gain any type of trust, it definitely is going to take a while. It's going to take longevity, but like Dede said, man, you have to show up consistently and show up. That's really it, just showing up.
Yeah, and I think for me a cheat code, like something I just thought about recently,
Hmm.
like the way you gain trust is by kind of like you're going to be tested, right? Like I'm gonna use the best example, like God, right? We trust God so much even after we go through like hardships, right? And that's how you gain trust. Cause let's say for instance, like you
Facts.
go through a hard time, so what you gonna do? You're gonna go pray about it, and then now boom, your prayers answered. Now you're like, dang, I can rely on God, so I can trust God. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So say for instance, a person like they need help with something, and then you hear somebody up and they come through, you're gonna trust that person, right? Because they came through for you. So trust can be built if somebody comes through for you or if somebody assists you. Whenever you get help from somebody, you're like, okay, this person reliable, like he came through when I need, and that doesn't mean God's going to come through every time, but that doesn't mean a person is going to come through every time. That's the biggest thing that we have to learn, because what happens is, let's say for instance, a person comes through once, twice, maybe three times, and then that person expecting to keep coming through every time, but we have our own problems ourselves. So don't get me wrong, like ask for help, etc., etc. but don't expect a person to come through every single time. You know what I'm saying? But that, in my opinion, that's how you build another way of building trust.
Hey man, I agree, man. I got no more questions, bro. You got anything else?
No, that's really it. Smooth, smooth. Yeah, no,
Literally,
that's
bro.
really it.
That
Honestly,
was
yeah.
smooth, man. I appreciate it, man. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate all y'all for tuning in, bro. This was Life Podcast Official. This is episode 52, man. We'll be back, episode 53, man, next Tuesday. Love y'all boys.
Yeah.
Y'all boys be
Love
safe,
y'all.
be blessed. Enjoy y'all nights, y'all days, man. Peace out.